Well, welcome back to my one take. You know, when I'm trying to figure out what to talk about, there's a lot of things that could happen. Sometimes you have weeks where there's nothing going on, and then there's weeks like this, where it just kind of flows. Everybody in golf wants to say something. It's all interesting, too. You know, sometimes it's just boring, but this week's not the case. Where do we start? Well, let me give you my take on Matt Every. That's where I want to start, because it's like the poor guy has been criminalized for taking a medication prescribed by his doctor for mental health. Now let's just think about that for a second. Mental health. I mean, we talk all about the issues that are out there in this country with guns and so forth and so on, and how these people have mental health problems. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But we talk about addressing mental health. So here's Matt Every suggesting that I have a problem. I need help. I go to a doctor. Instead of taking something that I know is going to be a problem for me, that could be habit forming, like an opioid, but not an opioid, I've decided to go another route. My doctor approves. He has given me medical marijuana. Medical marijuana. The PGA Tour, in their infinite wisdom, suggests marijuana is bad. The government says it's bad, meaning the federal government. That means that we are going to go ahead and treat it as bad, and we are going to suspend you, in this case, for 12 weeks. Now, first of all, WADA, if everybody's familiar with them, they have suggested that marijuana is not a problem for us. Marijuana on the day of competition, yes, but outside of that, no. That means you have to smoke it or ingest it on the day of competition. And I've talked to Dick Pound, who's the head guru at WADA. He said, I don't have a problem with this. But at the same time, the PGA Tour is like the NCAA, and they say, marijuana is bad. We somehow have to find a way to control it. It is an illegal substance. Of course, not in every state. Medical marijuana is in so many states right now, and there's a legitimate reason for that. And athletes, not only for medical reasons, but for physical reasons, are taking marijuana because it helps them. So here is a guy going for help, getting the help, and the tour saying, we're suspending you for 12 weeks. That is, in my mind, ludicrous. No question. No way that should happen. The man deserves better than that. Matt Every has had a lot of issues in his life. He's trying to address them, and yet they pulled the rug right from out under him. How could you do that? It doesn't make any sense. Skins game. Japan. Jason Day, $210,000. Tiger Woods, 60. Rory McIlroy, 60, whatever. Was there anything that you saw, if you watched, because I didn't watch, but is there anything you saw in that suggested that Tiger Woods is ready to rock and roll at a President's Cup? After this little 18-hole soiree, he's going to have to play 72 holes in Japan. Let's see what he does there. But then, as I've said earlier, then he's got to fly all the way to the Bahamas to play his event and turn around and jump on a plane and fly all the way to the President's Cup. No way. Doesn't make any sense. That's all I got to say about that. Congratulations, Jason Day. Congratulations, Justin Thomas, winning in Korea. Brooks Koepka. I have a crush on Brooks Koepka. There's no question. I love when someone asks a question and the player answers the question. Not some other question that wasn't asked, but answers the question. And answers it in a way that is so honest that you can't fault the person. You can be someone and say, I don't agree with that, and that's not right. But the person answered the question in his own way. In his deep down in his soul, he gave you exactly what he thought. So let's do this. Before the CJ Cup, Brooks Koepka was asked if he saw there was a rivalry between him and Rory McIlroy, who's number 2 in the world. And this is what he said. I've been out here for 5 years. Rory hasn't won a major since I've been on the PGA Tour. So I just don't view it as a rivalry, Koepka told the AFP. I'm not looking at anybody behind me, he added. I'm number 1 in the world. I've got open road in front of me, and I'm not looking in the rearview mirror, so I don't see it as a rivalry. Wow. Ask the question, get an answer. Now everybody's crazy about the answer, but so what? Even Rory McIlroy suggested that, hey, he's right. Deep down, he's right. Since he's been out here, I haven't won a major. There's no question about that. But what happens after that? Rory, as Rory is, typically a great guy. Brooks and I are good friends and this and that, which I don't disagree with. But if you're Rory McIlroy, you got to be saying, man, I can't disagree with that, and I got to do something to make sure that that response doesn't come out next year when Brooks Koepka's in Japan. Hopefully he will be in Japan next year. Hurt his leg, hurt his knee. Not sure what's going on with that. Had to fly back home when he was playing in Japan. We'll see what happens, but there are some aspects of this that could be a problem for Tiger Woods in the President's Cup. The number one player in the world not showing up in Australia would be somewhat of a downer. About a year ago, the PGA of America finally announced something that everybody in the world knew, that they were going to Frisco, Texas. On Friday, they took everybody out, had a press conference, and kind of showed them around. And as you can see from this drone footage, they're already constructing a golf course, which is the East Course, which is a Gil Hands work. First hole, par 5, 606 yards on the 7,603-yard par 72 golf course, which is going to hold the 2023 KitchenAid Senior PGA, the 2027 PGA Championship, as well as the 2034 PGA Championship. Whoa. This sounds kind of familiar. Remember when the USGA, before courses were even built, were already naming courses as being the venues, host venues for US Open? It didn't work out very well for Erin Hills and for that course in Washington, did it? Will it work out better for Frisco, Texas? We'll see. Gil Hands is a great architect, there's no question. And they are going to get it done, I think they said probably by 2021, so they'll have 2 years to grow in, which was one of the problems that they had, I thought, at Erin Hills and at Chambers Bay. That all being said, we'll see what happens. Nice drone footage though, huh? Last thing, the LET, the LPGA, there's been discussions back and forth about maybe merging, maybe not, so forth and so on. I'm not sure if it's really a merger because it's certainly not a merger of equals. But Mark Lichtenstein, who was the CEO of the LET, was pushing back on such a merger. Now, there is no opposition on the LET side because Mark Lichtenstein was shown the door after the Solheim Cup. So I think it's clear sailing with the LET and the LPGA, with some help from the European Tour and maybe some help from the R&A. There was a good story in The Guardian this week about it. There's going to be a story on Morning Read about it as well. So some good stuff about that. Wow. Brooks Koepka, Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, Matt Every. Pretty good stuff, huh? One more week and I'm off to Turkey. See you next week. I'm Alex Miceli.